I'm going to talk about the project €1, which is also in the exhibition, and I've prepared a kind of video mock-up of it, so I can run in the background when I'm talking. Yeah, thanks. And this project, it feels really traditional in comparison with your approaches and the things we've just been talking about. So it starts in about 5 seconds. So perhaps you've all seen it, but for those of you who haven't, there are 6 very simple films. Each film shows one person working. They all start simultaneously, and each film lasts as long as the person in the video takes to earn €1. So the guy on the right, he finished a little while ago. I hope you saw it. If you didn't, you can. Yeah. And in the exhibition, it doesn't run on demand, but if you visit the exhibition, you'll have seen it. It just runs constantly, and ultimately, the length of the whole piece is determined by how long it takes the person earning the least to earn that €1. It was first shown in this show in Liverpool, in the UK. So it was called £1. And each film took as long as it took the worker to earn £1, and here it's €1, and then it would change if it was in another country according to the local currency, because I think currency is very connected to how we think, and it's very kind of internalized. It's not the structure for the work is fixed. This relationship between how long it takes the person in the film to earn money and to earn 1 unit, and how long the film lasts. But the people in the future, I'd like to shoot more films and have the setup switch. So in 10 years, it could look completely different. I don't know how long, but in the future, I'd be happy to see the film switched out. I chose not to, in quite a lot of my work, there's quite a lot of contextual information. Sometimes there's an interview with someone who's been involved in the process, or you can kind of find out more about how the work has been made, and that's often involved in the work itself. This piece is quite decontextualized. There's no sound, you don't know where the people are, you don't know who they are, you don't even know which country they're in. But this was a deliberate decision, and I'm quite happy with how it seems to have worked. You know, when you conceive a work and then you see how it works when people, viewers encounter it. And what I hoped and what seems to happen is that people then kind of project their own knowledge and their own experience. So both their experience of working themselves and their knowledge about how what work looks like around the world. They project this onto the piece and find the answers of where it could be. And then I don't mind talking about it in this situation or in interviews. I don't mind. There's no secrets behind who they are and where they are, but just that space first for people to project what it might be. I'm quite happy with how that makes it a little bit more universal and gives people space to find what it could be. Oh, I forgot to start my timer.
You've got plenty of time if you want.
I know. Okay, that was about 3 minutes. So in the exhibition, there are also stills from the 6 videos just to the side. They're kind of like a visual label. There's still not the information about who those people are, but through the time codes that are left on the screens that are not running, and these stills, viewers have the opportunity to kind of fill in some of the gaps about who's missing. Otherwise, there might be a lot of frustration in the fact that for 60% of the time that the whole piece runs, 5 of the screens have nothing on them, apart from a time code. So when I set out to make the piece, essentially there could have been workers anywhere in the world and doing kind of anything, but that's a little bit ambitious. So I had to find a way to find a criteria for who to shoot. And in discussions with friends about how I could do this, one of them suggested that how about it's people who could have somehow been involved in making your daily shower possible. So all of the people in this film could have contributed to this. So the people on the left-hand side one is picking cotton, which could be used for a towel. The next is cleaning cotton, which could be, again, for the same towel. The next one is working on a road, which could then supply this cotton. The next is building a door, which could be the bathroom door. The next is picture editing, which could be involved in advertising. The next is the CEO of Procter & Gamble, which make a lot of shampoo. So it's not a supply chain, not one supply chain, and I thought a lot about it being, it could be all from one industry, from coffee or oil or something like this, but I didn't want it to be about that one industry. Because the work already starts to look a little bit like a film that Oxfam could make, and Oxfam do great work, but I wanted it to be a little bit more universal, with this space for people to kind of fill in with their own information about what's happening. So the original kind of spark from the idea, Mike said we're all sort of value social justice, which is true, but I'm also quite mean, and the actual idea came because I just count money. So the first job I had, I was earning £3 an hour, which is about €3.50, and I knew that it took 20 minutes to earn £1, and I've known this since I was 17, in fact. So, like, yeah, I care about global issues, but I was also aware that when I'm earning money myself, like how long it takes, and this mechanism, which I'd been aware of for a long time, could then feed back into this work. To talk more generally about how this fits into my practice, I've been asked here and when showing this piece if I make other work, video work or installation work. I'm an installation artist, video artist, or what is it? I think what makes this the kind of work I make is that there's a simple idea, a simple structure, and once that's been established, then I can fill in the gaps after this. So I said that there could be new videos in the future and what have you, so that once that structure is established, I can work within that. But they do tend to, all the work I make tends to involve relationships, with global relationships, I guess, and quite ambitious subjects. And on that, when I'm setting out to make a piece of work, I think it's, it's quite absurd if I think back to before this was realized, and I think about the discussions I have planning this work. It's like you want to make a piece of work about how unfair the world is. This is quite an ambitious kind of naive thing to try and make a project about, because it's just so big. And then my job is to kind of navigate this and find a way to, at the same time, deal with, I don't think you can look at these statistics behind this work. So there's a factor of 4. The person on the right who was there earns 4,000 times what the person on the left earns. So ultimately there's a very strong, clear, disgusting, sick statistics behind this piece. You can't talk about this information without believing that it's sort of morally shocking. So I think that's really clear. And then my job is to sort of give us an approach to that, which there's some level of ambiguity, so we can so the viewer can not digest it extremely fast. If this figure of 4,000, which I pulled out, is not, you can't actually see that in usually you're presented with these kind of figures in text or graphical form, in newspaper articles, for example, and those statistics are behind this work. But hopefully, through presenting it through the medium of essentially time, there's another sort of gives the viewer another way into this debate. So there are 6 videos, as you can see, and I think it was important that there was this many, because I feel that I was born in 1980, and growing up when Live Aid was really big, and and I was also brought up to be a kind of reverse snob. So my dad would rally against people who are really rich. So I was brought up with this on the one hand, there was kind of starving Africans, and that was really bad. On the other hand, there was also really rich people that had far too much money, and this was really bad. And that's all true, but I need some way to sort of differentiate, to introduce some space to think about this. So by having these 6 videos, the person who's also now finished earning €1, the second from right, she was earning in this film kind of a couple of $100,000 a year, which for me is a huge amount of money. That's rich for me. But then there's also people who earn 10 times this, and then people who earn 100 times this. So I wanted to have those scales within the piece. And then on the other hand, you have both of the videos on the right that are still playing are in poorer countries. So you have the cotton factory is obviously like a kind of disgustingly low wage, but then you have someone earning even less. So there's kind of differentiation within the lower wages. But then also the one on the far left is it's a blue sky. It's quite a slow day. So hopefully through this visual, the slowness of the situation, there might be some ambiguity that it's not, although it's terribly unequal and unfair and wrong that someone should take so long to earn €1. There's still some space somehow to reflect on different values, and because it's not, it doesn't seem like such a bad situation in the video. It's not presented as the hardest situation in the world, I don't think. In more practical terms, in terms of how the work was made, I chose to. There was also I had discussions about whether I should use something called the international dollar, which is where it takes into account local currencies and local costs within each place, because this project doesn't do that, and I chose to just use regular exchange rates, because it was important to me that, in fact, I was the first person I filmed, but I chose not to use this video. But even though it's kind of this very ambitious, this huge system, like what work looks like in different parts of the world and with huge different numbers, it's useful for me to relate it back to how to myself, and myself as a consumer and a citizen and an employee. And that's why it's still the same euro that I would spend if I was there. And the industries they're working in are all related to, as I said at the start, things that I can take part in. So they could have been making my clothes and what have you, and the guy at the top could have been making a profit out of the things I buy every day.